Hi folks, thanks for taking the time to watch this short explainer video on how to be a speaker and present at the upcoming Openground conference taking place next weekend. So hopefully you may have seen the how-to guides, or you may have seen one or two of the other videos we've created on how to get onto the platform and how, of course, to make use of it. But once you do get logged in, you should end up on a screen that looks very similar to this. It's called event registration, and in this case it's for Friday the 9th. And hopefully if you have watched the other videos and you've seen a full explanation of how all the sessions are listed, then the area that you want to be in is over here on the sessions list. And as you can see, this lists every single session taking place across the entire weekend. There are 111 of them in total, and of course you're going to want to find the session that's relevant to you and the one that you're going to present in. There's a couple of ways you can do that. You can either just search all the way through the very long list of sessions, or you can break it down into days. Day 1 being the Friday, day 2 being the Saturday, and of course day 3 is the Sunday. And then it's just a simple case of finding the session that, as I say, is relevant to you, that you are going to present in. So in this case, I'm going to highlight the workshop sessions, and this one here, room 6, the music and the unthought unknown. So if I click into it, the first thing that's going to happen is you'll notice that you are put what's called in an area called Backstage. The way that this platform works, each session has got 2 areas to it. It's got a backstage area and it's got a live front of stage area. So if you wanted to, and the reason for that is so that when you join it backstage automatically. This is the area where you can get yourself in the zone, you can get yourself prepared, you can meet the rest of your colleagues if there's more than yourself presenting on the panelist tab over here. This tells me that there's a whole bunch of people. Catherine, Joy, Hillary are all presenting in this particular workshop, and of course I'm logged in as Katie, who's the host and the moderator for this particular session. So this is, as I say, a backstage area. You can all meet here, get yourselves in the zone, test your cameras, test your microphones, and all that sort of good stuff. And ultimately, what's going to happen is, come the time that you are due to start, so when your session is due to commence, all of you, whether that's just you or however many that's involved in this session, in this instance there's 4 people, all of you will need to click on Go Live. If you don't do that, you'll stay backstage permanently. You all get that countdown, so that's the reason that's there, so that you know that come the time you've clicked on Go Live, you're going to end up in front of a live audience. It tells you that you're live. You'll notice that backstage symbol has disappeared now. It tells you that you are live. It also tells you that the session is being recorded. And at this point, if all of you have clicked on that Go Live button, you should be joined on stage by you and the colleagues that you are going to run this workshop or round table with. If there are other people who you want to come live with you, then of course, unlike Zoom or unlike Teams, this platform will only allow the people to come live who have been assigned that status. So in this case, these 4 guys have been assigned either speaker status or host or moderator status. So only them 4 are going to come live. If anybody else as a delegate or as a participant would like to come live with you, then they've got a slightly different process they've got to go through. They have got to raise their hand. They'll have a button across the bottom of their screen that says Raise Hand. You, as your host or moderator or speaker, will need to encourage them to do that. So at this point, I've got a colleague lined up in the background. So I'm going to ask my colleague to raise her hand right now. And as she does so, you'll notice a little yellow hand symbol floating up the screen. More importantly, you'll also notice over here on the tabs on the right hand side, there's a little Q&A button. And of course, when you click on it, you see my colleagues hit that raised hand button sign again. And of course, when you clicked on the Q&A button, down in the bottom of the panel, you can see the little hand raised symbol. There's also a notification there as well. So when I click on that little option, it tells me that my colleague Lorraine has got her hand raised, and it also tells me I need to invite her on stage. So at that point, I'm going to click on the invite button. Lorraine's going to get a notification saying that she's been invited on stage. With a bit of luck, she's going to accept it. She has, and there she is, as if by magic. And of course, I'm going to ask Lorraine to now exit the stage so that we don't get all that interference from multiple microphones. But of course, you do have the power. If you noticed, you have the power. If Lorraine didn't want to get off the stage, if you've got somebody who's come live with you and the one shut up, you can easily disconnect them if that's what you want to do. So if you do want people to join you on stage, then that's the process that they are going to have to go through. Raise hand, you're going to have to come over to the Q&A tab, and of course in doing so you're going to have to invite them up onto the stage like what we've demonstrated. So that's how that works. But let's just assume that that's not going to happen, and the people that's a part of your session, your round table, your workshop, you're all present and correct, you're all live, you're all ready to start the discussion. There's probably a couple of things that you're going to want to do. What I would encourage you to do, if you're not speaking, if you're not saying anything at that particular point in time, then you can mute or unmute your microphone, just like you would on Teams, just like you would on Zoom. Likewise, you can turn your camera on or off if that's what you need to do. If that helps your bandwidth, if you're having connection challenges, turn your camera off. You can also come across to this little tab here, and this gives you the option to change to low definition. So change from high def to low def if you're having bandwidth issues. But the big thing that you may want to do is share your screen. So you can see that little button there. If I click on it, it brings up options, brings up similar to Teams, it brings up options of what it is that I can share. I can either share my entire screen, a particular application, or a Chrome tab. Now I do have, as if by magic, I'll just cancel that, I do have a PowerPoint presentation open in the background, which I'll just minimize. And when I go back to sharing screen again, with a bit of luck, it should be highlighted. It's not. There we go. There, it's highlighted there now. There we go. So as you can see, I'll do that again and take you through that process again. When I share my screen, I've got an option now to share PowerPoint. But what I've got in this PowerPoint is I've got a video file embedded. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tick that button that says share audio. So when I go back to it, I can click on the PowerPoint image and you automatically see the share button is highlighted. And the moment I click share, then what it will do is it brings up my second screen. I'll unpin that so you can see it. So as you can see there, to make sure that that's I'll start the presentation from the beginning. So as you can see there in the video, you can see that I've got two screens open. So I'm the person that shared the screen. I've got me in one video box. I've got my presentation in the second video box. I've still got my other colleagues that are live with me on the stage. And the focus here is, now that we've got the presentation up here, the real focus is going to be on what's in that PowerPoint. And if you can see that little map symbol, that map pin symbol will allow you to pin that image to the full screen. I'll do that again. So I've clicked it to unpin it. You can pin the image to the full screen, and in doing so, it moves everybody into thumbnail size video boxes over here in the top right. If there was 3 other colleagues on here, then all of you would be in a list here. Now, when it comes to this pinning option, there is only one person can do that, and that is the person who has been assigned as moderator and host. Any of the speakers can't do that. So you can share your screen, you can bring up your presentation, you just won't be able to pin the image. So of course, as I've got something playing over here, then what I should be able to do. Hello, folks. Video which deals the sponsorship for the Openground conference coming up in April. Now I'll not play that all the way through because we don't have the time. As you can see, I've shared my screen, and what I've done there is, of course, I started to play the video. So when you're done, you simply stop sharing, and that takes you back to just being yourself in that video box, and of course the rest of your colleagues. Now I know there's been 1 or 2 people have asked about video files, so the same process applies. I've got Spotify open here in the background, so if you wanted to run video files or audio files, when you come on the screen share option again, back to application window, as you can now see, I've got the option to click on Spotify, and if you wanted to, I can play music. Everybody's gotta learn sometime. Everybody's gotta learn sometime. I'll just stop that. And of course, as you see, I've brought audio up, I've brought video up on PowerPoint, and of course you can have a good old-fashioned slides as well. And when I'm done, just quite simply stop sharing. So that's how you share your screen. That's how you bring up audio files. That's how you bring up video files. You can, if you want folks to come live with you, I've also taken you through how delegates can come live with you. And of course, if they don't want to come live with you, as some folks won't, then they can interact with you using the Discuss and the Q&A tab. So they can come over to both of these tabs here. They can drop in any questions, any feedback, any observations, and of course you can deal with it as a panel accordingly. And when you are done presenting and your time is up and it's time for your session to end, you quite simply just click on that Go Backstage button, and it'll return you to where you started, which is Backstage. And at that point you can all rest easy and you can breathe a sigh of relief because your job is done and it's over with. And you can get ready for the next one if you've got another one to present. So hopefully you found that useful. It's a great platform. It's very intuitive as long as you follow what to do, and it couldn't be simpler. So of course, if you do run into hot water, you can reach out to us in the support option down here on the left hand side. Myself and my colleague Chris, click on the message button and you can message any one of us. So there you go, folks. I look forward to seeing you on event weekend. Thank you very much.